Yeah, I can do that with trust now, I know. Perhaps I might linger a touch longer. Oh, yeah. The brothers agree. Oh.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Mericidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities.
Zervan, Sephiroth, and Sophia.
In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Voidsent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
This is tying together so much, it is amazing.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
I mean, he's right in the middle of it.
Indeed, I did.
Like, okay.
I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land.
So, just to reiterate. I need a map. FF14. Here's map. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, that is perfect. I'll take it. Open image, a new tab. Perfect. Okay, so now let's do this for a second. Window capture. New. Bum. This one done. Okay, so this is the map. Second, I need to figure stuff out here. So. So this is the map of Etheirys, the entire continent, with like a rough outline of all of the continents that are actually there. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You can. Okay, perfect. So this is the new world, which we haven't been there yet. Though we know that the blue mages come from there, the Mammel-Ja come from there, and we do know, as a matter of fact, that Malwip has been there. I think like 10 or 15 years prior to a realm prior to a calamity or prior to a realm reborn. I don't know exactly. This is Sharlayan, this is Eorzea, Valbrand, Aldenard, Orthard, and Kugane. This is Mericidia. This is Favnir. So, the Elegants ruled over everything here, basically. Like, here's the burn, which is what they used to raise up Azazla and bind all of the, basically after this, what we're seeing right here, to bind the Warring Triad and also Tiamat and so on. Over here is where Ultima Weapon lies, in Alamigo, or that's where it was uncovered, basically, if I remember correctly, and so on and so forth. So basically, the Elegants ruled, at the very least, and we know that, over the 3 continents. Eorzea, not Eorzea, Aldenards, Ilsabard, and Ilthard. We don't know if they ruled over the New World, but it is, we can assume so. But we know that they were at war with Mericidia at some point. So if they were fighting the Mericidian dragons, supposedly with flying ships, they had to, you know, cross Favnir at some point, and we know that Vitra was already ruling over that area back then. So of course he was part of this. Alright, so that's just what I wanted to throw in here for a moment. Let's continue. And sorry for that tangent, but I had to do it. Let's go back.
Along with my sibling, Ashdaya.
Okay.
We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me.
Oh.
I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes.
That's the first we are hearing about it.
Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength.
Wow.
I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
No wonder she replied with
I
nothing.
find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
I rescind my earlier statement and declare that I know
does
nothing.
not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return.
True.
For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
Yes.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure.
A natural one, interesting.
It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly, they worked to expand the fissure, And after decades of toil,
That a
finally grew to a
child might
size
pass
that a
through.
child might pass through.
That explains so much.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, but Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
Alright, before I continue, sorry for interrupting here, but this is
With hope in
interesting.
my heart, I used the simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her.
The thing is, early on in the MSQ of 6.0, Vitra says, or they have like not an argument, but basically, Varshan isn't the first simulacrum to like share Vitra's powers, and that all the prior simulacra had been sent on a mission. This is that mission. And Varshan knows that once his purpose was done, he would be sent out into that fissure himself, and the next simulacrum would take over. This is massive. Holy shit.
What I found was a host of void scent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed.
Makes sense, yes.
'Twas but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Razathan and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
Yeah. From, Nero turned purple. Yeah. Which looked weird.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities.
Also, it's just Nero compared to a dragon.
The scales of the First Brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome.
He's trying his best, bless him.
Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late.
Well, we do know that time passes.
And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection.
Passes differently on other charts. We even know that from Uno Kalhai and...
So when I
What's her name?
sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course.
Of course.
I wish only to forget the rest.
Kitty saw shiny. Millennia have passed since I last saw her, but I see Asdaja in memory still clear and vivid. The 13th, what chaos must consume that world. Beatrice's grief for a lost sibling will be no mystery to Estinian. His have been alive entwined with sorrow even before he became host to Nidhogg's essence. That do be true. I wondered how one of the first brood could simply vanish and leave no trace of her passage. Now I have my answer. Yes. So they managed not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Astonishing. Is there any chance I could learn more of how this feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the Guardians you so handily destroyed. It will not do to leave the gates undefended. Ah, my apologies. We are perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the world's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. That will not be necessary, much as I retain spare vessels for myself. We keep duplicate guardians on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to Razatan. Alright, let's go back. The music is so good. Oh. Okay. Here's to the first. There's much about the Void Gate that I cannot even begin to explain. I must convince Ritra to share everything he knows. This is quite the gathering. To you, the pleasure. Ritra speaks as if Ashdaya is a lost cause. I'll wager he feels differently in his heart of hearts. It was the most enjoyable expedition for which I am grateful. As for mine evaluation, I shall impress upon the Loporits that the treasure vault is incomplete without the daunting sentinels to test the mettle of any would-be intruders. While I am loath to keep Kral waiting much longer, I cannot bring myself to leave before hearing more of Ritra's tale. Makes sense. I promise we will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the Vault's sentinels. As the instruments have no doubt informed you, the Capiculu has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to its post along with some few lesser constructs. Was it tomb robbers? Fiends born of the Tower of Zod? By their sisters, do not tell me a blasphemy yet roams free. How to explain? Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see to it done immediately. I love this so much. And with that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now, I believe you had questions? Quite a few, in fact, but I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemical forged lock and warded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowliest of voidsent, and from this side, no man would be able to pass through. No man, I should think Alfino would fit, give him a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. And yet, you succeeded in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your simulacrum to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemists, I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Astarja, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus has the gate lain dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simply thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open the Void Gate, one bound to a covenant made with a cloud of darkness. Once the sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken and the doorway severed from its connection to the Void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another voidsent. But such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the Bounty Gate. Perhaps you could resume the search for your sister. As I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. You had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? To see if the legends were true. I'm an adventurer at heart. As you have seen, the fabulous well from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. That's fair. I've been adding to the trove for years, little by little, but the time has come to spend it that I might alleviate my people's suffering. And we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Is that right, my friend? Yeah? Boom, boom, boom. Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a close examination of the gate? Or make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. But that I could join thee in thy study, but the Loporits will be anxious to receive my report. Where I leave of you. And I must be off to Charlian as well. Mistress Kryl was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. Yeah. Boom. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum. You may now undertake the Chronicles of a New Era Quest series, Myths of the Realm. speak with the fresh-faced student of the Baldessian Annex to accept the first quest. Yes, 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 yes! I'm sorry, Marshawn. Well, I will accept the, like, I will finish up the quest, but mess up the rail. I hope you enjoyed the expedition at last, otherwise it was a heavy purse to pay for a treasure map leading to a treasure we couldn't keep. Bum, 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 ba-da. The difficult part in all this will be deciding how best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Anything to make up for the constructs we broke. Yeah, I will repay you. And think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as guest advisors, and I will consider the broken construct paid for in full. With Vern and I on this together, I will follow his example. Alright. There's a cutscene here. Of course there is. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Oh my god. Ooh. Huh. Those are the elements. Are we about to kill chaos? Is that X-Dev? Like, come on, that's the same movement. Throne of Earth. I sensed the breaching of a gate, but it was not instigated from this side. It was thrown open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. Opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Bah! Let him come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling gasp for breath in his final moments. Those are 4 of the 6 elements. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Night in black. Think back on our struggles beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. This time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Interesting.